Welcome to the Stepmom Side with Alicia, the podcast for stepmoms ready to create the life they want and one they actually have a say in. Here we talk all things stepmom life and just a little bit more. Leave the superficial conversations at the door and get ready for perspective shifts and actionable advice to help you on your way to creating the life you want, one step at a time. Hey, welcome back to the Stepmom Side podcast. Before we get into this week's episode, by the time you're listening to this, it's going to be the second day of back to school, which I'm super grateful for. And if you're a teacher and you're listening to this, thank you so much for being amazing and, shaping the future generations and just being awesome. We've lucked out and had amazing teachers and just all of the things I'm in my feels about just school being back in session. This summer's been a lot of nothing but changes all at the same time, if that makes sense. We got a puppy who I'm obsessed with. Every day I just want to squeeze her and just hold on. I just hold on to her and I'm I love you so much. And my husband's I think she knows. You're good. You don't have to tell her that all the time or she might think you're crazy. And I'm that's okay. My daughter's been in camps. My husband's been home for about a month now. Definitely married the right person. I love to spend time with him. But now that my daughter's back at school, I'm okay, I have to get things done. I've kind of blown off work over the summer. And I'm sure you've noticed, if you followed my socials, I've not been consistent at all. The podcast is something, thank you first, so much for listening. But it's one of those things that I'm I have to have a podcast episode out every week. That's very important to me. So I need to make time for that. But as far as social media, I don't really like the hamster wheel of content creation and all of that. I love to make reels, but also trying to make reels when everyone's home and trying to train a puppy and trying to just think by myself is not conductive or conducive. So I'm upstairs. Oh, and then my daughter's hey, can I just switch my bedroom to your office and you can have my bedroom? Yes, we've finally transitioned into that. But my office is not completely set up. Actually, from the last time that I've recorded this, recorded a podcast episode, nothing's changed. I have had coaching calls in here, which is super great. We have switched our Wi-Fi. We had a nationwide carrier that's got a stranglehold on our area, and then last summer the Wi-Fi constantly was not being good, and then so I just switched it to a different carrier for a year, and then I switched for two reasons. One, because it was not good, it wasn't going well. And then we kept getting outages. So I'd be on coaching calls or I'd be on office hours for the Stepmom Side community. And the Wi-Fi would just drop, or it would be oh, it'll be back up in 4 hours, literally gone. And so I would use my hotspot on my phone to do office hours, which is when I would when see it, which that was really frustrating. So I got this other one. And it was working really great. But then I've started to realize that when I'm on calls, sometimes it'll freeze. This just happened in the stepmom social that we did where for the Stepmom Side community where you could meet and greet other people and we could just put faces to names and all of the things. It happened a lot. And so I'd be in the middle of it talking, and then it would just freeze and they'd be you're gone. That's, and it's happened on coaching calls, and that is so freaking embarrassing to me. I hate it. It makes me yikes. But then I get this little pop-up on my screen that says your internet connection is unstable, and I'm the internet connection or me, because I'm about to lose it. And so I personally have been frustrated by that, and I used to not be very good at suffering, and in that situation, I kind of am okay with it, but my husband has been oh yeah, sometimes the TV in the basement will be slow to load or whatever, or our treadmill or bike will be slow to load, or it'll say you have a weak connection or something like that. So it's just been frustrating, and we've got Wi-Fi extenders throughout the house, but the Wi-Fi was coming in through a cellular signal and all of the things. I'm telling you all of these things, right? And so I'm in this new office. I've set up my new Wi-Fi. I had a coaching call. now I'm recording a podcast, and I've been drinking water, and I'm like been really good at that. I've already had lunch, but I'm like, what I could really go for? My vice, okay, I'll tell you like 2 vices that I have. My vice is Coke Zero. I love it. Like, love it. I don't like all of the sugar and regular Coke, and I don't really like the taste of Diet Coke, but Coke Zero, yes. I don't really drink a lot of carbonated things anyway, but Coke Zero, please, like, I love you. Yes, please. Anyway, so I have one right now with me, but I was drinking like a little bit before, just kind of like an afternoon pick me up again after I've been hydrated. And if you have thoughts on like, drinking pops or sodas or Coke Zero or Diet Cokes or things of the sort, great. And if you're like, Alicia, they're so bad for you. I know, but it's my like vice, okay? So I went to like move my microphone to the other side of my computer, not realizing that the cord was stuck under this shelf thing, and it knocked over my can of Coke Zero, and I was like, it was only like halfway, not even halfway full, so not that much came out, but I was like, oh my gosh, no, please don't spill. Not in the fact that like I'm gonna miss out on some of it, but I'm like, I don't want it to be like on the carpet and then like I have the sticky thing to clean up, but it was just on my desk so I could like easily clean it up. So I love Coke Zero. My other vice, which we don't normally have in the house, I'm not a sweet person, to be honest with you. Like I like sweets, okay, but I don't love them, where my husband and daughter like could eat sweets 24/7 and like just be in heaven. But I love peanut M&Ms. Like, oh my gosh, I love peanut M&Ms. And so I got up here to like record, and I was like, oh, you know what I should do is like go back downstairs and get peanut M&Ms. We bought them for like this massive birthday party that I had at the beginning of the month, beginning of August. And we never opened them or like put them out. And so now we have them. And I forget that we have them. Like, this is how much like I don't really eat sweets, is I forgot that we had them. And my husband's like, oh, I finally opened those. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot we even had them. He goes, how do you not see them? There's this giant jar in the pantry. Like, it's right in front of your face. Yeah, I'm not really looking for them. I just am not a sweet person. What are your vices? What do you like? So mine are Coke Zero and peanut M&Ms. Twix bars, Snickers, I like those too, which is funny because I like chocolate, but I'm not like crazy about chocolate either. But like the things that I've listed are chocolate, which is like kind of funny. Anyway, so all that to say, again, like I'm really excited for school, like to be back in session and me to have like time by myself to like think and breathe on my own and get back into creating podcasts episodes, but like on specific days, like, okay, this day I'm recording podcast episodes and getting back into like a routine, because a lot of times what I've been doing like over the summer is just the day before or like the night before or like a few days before, like recording a podcast episode and like doing all of the things, because it's just a one-woman show over here. It's just me. But I don't like that. It doesn't feel good for me. I don't like the way that it makes me feel. And so then I start to spiral and I'm like, I don't like this. Oh my gosh, like, and part of it is me. And I've talked to my husband about this over the summer, is just me like needing to, this is going to be shocking to you, like needing to take up more space in our house as far as like podcasting goes, is just like, okay, everyone's home. That's fine that everyone's here, but I have things that I need to do. You guys are on your own for like an hour or so. So speaking of spiraling, that is thank you. If you listen to this whole part, like, thank you so much for listening to this. Like, you must be like in it, or maybe you're like nodding along and you're like, yeah, I understand. Like, you've got a lot going on, because guess what? Same here. And yeah, you know what? Like, even though I coach stepmoms, like, I don't have everything figured out 100% of the time, or most of the time. I do pretty well, but like, there are times where I'm just like, what is my life? Like, what is happening right now? So I just want to tell you, if you spiral, first of all, that is completely normal. Like, I still do it. I will probably always do it, right? Especially since I'm like an overthinker. Are you an overthinker too? Welcome. But here's the thing. If you've ever gone from 0 to 100 in your mind, convinced that everything is falling apart, you're not alone. Like that is like oh my gosh, welcome to what should we call that club? Welcome to the catastrophe club. I don't know. Like that's exactly what I do. And it's crazy because I live in my own head, right? And you don't hear the voices that are in there, and neither does anyone else. But sometimes I say things to my husband. He's like, "Oh, that happens to you too?" And I'm like, "Wait, this happens to you too? Like you do this? That's crazy." Just going from like 0 to 100, right? Like if I get home and I know that my husband's home and he can't find or I can't find him, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's dropped dead from a heart attack somewhere. No, he's not. Like, or he's, somebody's broken into our house and like kidnapped him. Like, no, he's fine. He's totally fine. But 0 to 100, right? So yeah, it's something small, but it feels so huge. Or like another thing that I would spiral about, is having a baby. And now all of a sudden, because we were so close to my stepkids being out of the house, and I'm like, finally I get my husband to myself. And then I was pregnant, and that year that I was pregnant for Christmas, like had a mental breakdown and was like, this is never going to be just you and I. It's all, like, I'm never going to get you to myself. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it's not that. Like, I logically made this decision, or we made this decision, like, get pregnant, have a kid, and then now I'm like, oh my gosh, my world is crashed. No, it's not. It was totally fine. Like, it's totally fine. No one's worse for the wear. Everyone is totally fine. So let's dive into why stepmoms spiral. It's completely normal. But more than that, like, it's not just stepmoms that spiral. Everyone spirals. So we're talking about everyone, but we're going to make it like stepmom specific, right? Here on the Stepmom Side podcast, it's going to be stepmom specific. It's completely normal because our brains are wired for survival, not peace. That's how like our species has like stayed alive, right? Hey, that lion looks like it's prowling and like out to get us. Well, are we going to stay here? No. We're not going to try to make friends with it. It's probably going to try to come and eat us. But here in like today's world, surviving means, okay, we have to be ready for like the next text that's going to come through, or the next last minute schedule change, or the next whatever it is, like my stepkids don't like me, or the next blow up that's going to happen. And so what spiraling is our nervous system is dysregulated. So we're caught in this fight, flight, freeze, or like fawn stage. And I listed a few things that are stepmom specific, but here are other stressors that are unique to like stepmom life. Feeling like you have no control. That is the biggest thing I see. Fear of rejection by your partner, by the kids, by the ex. Constant comparison to the mom or the first wife or the previous wife if you've got like multiple ones. But another one that's not like super widely talked about is unclear role expectations as a stepmom. Like, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I say this? Can I say that? What can I do? What can't I do? I don't understand. Like, I operate in this gray area, which also goes back to that like first one of feeling like you have no control, because a lot of stepmoms operate in a black and white area and don't know how to navigate trying to operate in a gray area. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just not going to do anything, right? It's either like black or white. There's no gray. And so let's just normalize it. It's not that you're weak. It's that your brain is trying to protect you. Like your brain is like, what are we doing? Like, how do we make this happen? And then if you're like a super logical person, like on top of it, like it's that much harder. So let's dive into when spiraling happens. Usually it's triggered by moments where we don't feel safe. And like the biggest things that I see here are after conflict with your partner. You've got like your own childhood upbringing of what that looks like. They've got their own childhood upbringing and what that looks like. And so if you grew up in an avoidant attachment style, or like an avoidant house, or like, and so I'll just use like my example. Conflict was like terrible. And I was just talking to somebody recently that had a very similar upbringing to me. And we were talking about conflict and like silence and what that does. And especially for us, because silence was big. Like my mom was like the silent treatment, like what she was really good at that. And it's what that silence said. Even though it says nothing, it's what that silence meant. Like, you're not good enough, or it's not even worth my time to talk to you, or all of the things, right? And so conflict with my husband, he would be like, I need time to process. And so he didn't want to talk about things right away. And I'm like, he hates me. We're getting a divorce. And do you do this too? Like, this sounds crazy, but yeah, it just, conflict, like, felt really scary. Like, I would try to avoid conflict at all costs. People pleaser. Hi, welcome. Party of one here. But also, like, when you're left out of decisions, because what does that mean? You're being rejected. You're not enough. Your opinion doesn't matter. You're good enough until you're not. Like, all of the things, right? And so when you're left out of decisions, you don't feel seen. You don't feel heard. You don't feel safe. All of the things. Or after, let's say that you're in the decision-making process, and there's some sort of like tense exchange with the other house. Hello. That's triggering, because then now it's weird because you've got emotions about it. Your partner's got emotions about it. The other house has emotions about it. And now you're, again, like, living in this limbo area of like, okay, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? I feel weird about this and I don't know what to do. So then you go through everything in your head of like, okay, well, we could have said this, or we should have said that, or they could have done this, or all of the things, right? Like, you spiral. It's so maddening. It's like this vicious cycle. Same thing when you feel like the kids are rejecting you. Maybe they had a hard time at school and they didn't greet you in the way that they would normally greet you. And now they hate me. I'm never going to be enough. I will never be first. I will never, be close enough to them for them to like call me and just like have a relationship with me outside of their parent, or whatever it is, right? Like, rejection is really hard, like, no matter what. Another triggering time might be during transitions, like maybe during pickup, drop off. Holidays might be weird. Big changes. Maybe you've gone through like a custody battle and like now your custody is different, or maybe like the child support is like a big change, or maybe somebody's moved further away or whatever, like just big changes. And you're like, again, spiraling because you're thinking about all of the things. What if this, then that, or you added a baby, like that's a big change. There's all of these things that you can what if to death, or you can overanalyze to death. And here's the thing. Safety doesn't just mean physical, it's emotional safety, relational safety, like in your relationship, and also stability. So those big changes can really rock the boat and make things feel unstable. So you feel all sorts of like weird ways, and so then you just overthink, overanalyze. What about this, then that, like all of the things. Remember me crying at Christmas because it was going to be the last time my husband and I were ever going to be together? No, we just have a baby. He's like, I'm sure in his head he was like, you are crazy, Alicia. But he's smart enough, luckily, to not be like, hey, your hormones are raging because you're pregnant and you've turned into a psycho. What have you done with my wife? He was like, it's fine. We're still going to be together. It's totally fine. So now that we know why the spiraling happens, when the spiraling happens, let's talk about how to stop the spiral. And I've talked about this on coaching calls because this is something that I see a lot with stepmoms, myself included, is just the spiraling. So step number 1, notice it without judgment. I think that's the hardest thing, is you get in this spiral and then you're like, damn it, I'm spiraling again. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm spiraling. How do I stop this? And now you're berating yourself, or you're being not so kind to yourself about, crap, I'm spiraling. I don't want to be doing this. Okay, well, you don't want to be doing this, but here we are. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to notice it without judgment. We're going to say to ourselves, okay, I'm spiraling. That's my brain trying to protect me. You could even say that. But okay, I'm spiraling. I don't want to be doing this. I'm going to take the steps I need to get out of this. Number 2, ground yourself. I know that sounds a little like, but just ground yourself. Whether it's maybe you do like a breathing exercise, like the box one, like in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, like just breathing. Maybe you go and get some movement. Whether you go work out, you go for a walk, you get out of your house, you're on errands. Maybe you've got a mantra, however you want to pronounce it, like whatever you say. Maybe you say, I am safe, I am loved. I don't know how many times I've typed out mantras to people that I've coached. Like, here are things that you should repeat to yourself. And it sounds ridiculous. It sounds crazy. I know. I made them for my daughter when she was like 3 months old and she couldn't talk, or she, didn't speak, but she could do the motions. I'm going to do the motions. I'm glad that I don't have this recording video because I would look silly, but I did it in alphabetical order. I am brave. I am smart. I am strong. I can do anything, and I love myself. So brave, smart, strong in alphabetical order. I can do anything, and I love myself. I added on to I am kind, I am honest, I am hardworking, things like that. But I was I want her to just have these in her head, this is her track to her life. Because I didn't have that growing up, and I was this sounds nerdy, but whatever. But what I didn't know is that was also for me. I was doing a little bit of healing of my inner child. So just having things like that, I am safe, I am loved, I am worthy of being here. Whatever it is that you need in your life. I just thought of something. Would it be beneficial if I put mantras together and just had them and you could get them? If so, send me a message. I'm just at Alicia Cresco on Instagram and let me know yes, I listened to podcast episode number 111 and I would love to have some mantras to go over. So breath, movement, mantras, journaling would be really good. You can just get it out so that way it's not in your head anymore. It's not very good to go to your partner and word dump or word vomit. That's not all very good things. But just having some place where you can get it out. If you're inside the Stepmom Side community, you can go in there and just, hey guys, guess what's happening? Blech, all of this. And so you just get it out of you. Number 3, find safety. Maybe you have safe self-talk. This doesn't mean that I'm not enough. Again, back to the mantras, if you will. Find a safe environment. Maybe take a break, go for a walk, remove yourself from the trigger if you can, or go physically do something. Maybe you have a safe connection. You text a trusted friend. If it's a situation with the other house that doesn't involve your partner or your stepkids, you can go hug your partner. Maybe you listen to calming music. If you're inside the Stepmom Side community, you go in there and dump it all out. Number 4, you reframe it. I'm not in danger. This is hard, but I can handle it. This is hard, but I can handle it and I have support. So I will tell you this. Practice, and then practice some more, because over time, this becomes quicker and easier. It's not one of those things that you just do it one time and then it works. No, my friend, that's not how that happens. Otherwise, I would not be sitting here and telling you 14 years in oh yeah, it's perfectly fine. No, that's not how it happens. This is something that you have to work at. So number 1, notice it without judgment. Okay, I'm spiraling. My brain's trying to protect me. Number 2, ground yourself, whether it's breath, movement, mantras, journaling. Get it out. Number 3, find safety. Whether it's self-talk or safe self-talk, a safe environment, a safe connection. And number 4, a reframe. This is hard, but I can do it. Remember, I can do anything. That was the thing that I had said to my daughter. I can do anything. You're okay, right? You can do anything, but you can't do everything, okay? And practice. It just becomes one of those things that you notice, and it'll just instantaneously kick in. Okay, I'm spiraling. Oh, you know what? I'm spiraling. And then your body just is attuned to it and just gets it, which is amazing. It's super, super great. And so if you feel you are spiraling all the time, I just want you to know this. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you're human. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you're human. Every single person I know spirals. Everyone. But here's the thing. If you take anything away from this podcast episode, I want you to remember this. When you're spiraling, creating safety is the key. That's why we're spiraling, remember? It's when we don't feel safe. we feel like we have no control. We are fearful of rejection by your partner, by your stepkids, by the ex. There's that constant comparison to her. You have unclear role expectations. So those are why we spiral, to name a few. I'm not going to go back over every single one that I listed early on. But if you're spiraling and you know another stepmom that spirals, I can tell you any stepmom that you know spirals, remember, because everyone spirals. Share this episode with that other stepmom that needs to hear it. Let her know that she's not alone. And neither are you. And if you need some additional help, I know I've mentioned the Stepmom Side community a couple different times in this episode. Please come join us. Come try it out. If you like it, amazing. Stay. If you don't like it, totally fine. No hard feelings. You can leave. And you want to know something kind of funny? I have had stepmoms that I chat with relatively regularly on Instagram that have signed up for the community, didn't stay for whatever reason, but I still talk to them on Instagram. So if you sign up for the community and you like it and stay, great. If you sign up for the community and you don't like it and you leave, that's fine. Our relationship is not over. My relationship is not contingent on whether or not you sign up for my course, the community, coaching, all of the things. But if you do join the Stepmom Side community and you're like, okay, you know what, I actually need a little bit more help besides just community support, you get a 20% discount on coaching. So I'm always like, before you get coaching with me, if you don't already know, like, I'm going to like her, try the community. There's all of these things in there that you can utilize for support. And you get a discount on coaching. Yes, please. So get support, but also share this episode with another stepmom who also spirals and you know that she needs the support. And I will chat with you next week. Thanks for taking time to listen to this week's episode. If anything was helpful or resonated with you, please share it on social media and tag me. I'm just at Alicia Crosco. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and a review while you're at it, that would also be really helpful. And if you find yourself struggling with your stepmom journey and you want a little bit more support without the hefty price tag of coaching, you might want to check out the Stepmom Side community, which is my own private community for stepmoms, where you get to connect with other stepmoms around the world and myself, where I hold weekly office hours and monthly group coaching. It's kind of like you have your own personal coach in your own back pocket. Again, without that hefty price tag. See you next week.